Alright. Ghostly, it's been a while. How are you? Oh, I didn't change the date. Oops. It is not the 2nd. It's the 7th. Elaine! What up? I'm excited for this. School been crazy, bro. I believe it. It's been busy for me too. Speaking of which, might as well talk about that right now while we wait. Probably won't be doing any other streams this week. I want to try to get, well, first off, I have a ton of exams and tests this week that I want to spend time preparing for. And then I also want to get ahead of my homework, because with Lightfall coming out in a few weeks, I want to get all my homework done so that I can just spend that first week of Lightfall not worrying about homework and can just stream a lot more than usual. That also being said, the new Hogwarts game came out this week. I'd love to play it, but I just don't think I can fit that in with my schedule, nor do I think I could finish it before Lightfall comes out, which would be, I don't want to be juggling all these different games. So we probably won't touch Hogwarts Legacy for like another month. I'll still try to avoid gameplay and spoilers of it. But yeah, I didn't realize that game was coming out this week until literally yesterday. Yes, Ghostly, I am in school. College. I am in school. Hogwarts seems very fun. It does look really good. Even if it's not like a perfect RPG, how could you not love it? It's set in the Hogwarts universe. It's, what was it? There was another game that came out where it's just like it's your fantasy. It's a game where I don't care how bad it is. It's a game where you can live out the universe you love in a video game. And this one's going to be the Harry Potter equivalent. You're just, how could you not love it? Waiting for the trailer to drop while preloading Hogwarts Legacy. Look at you, giga chatting. I was half tempted to move my homework only week to next week just so we could play Hogwarts, but I'm like, I can't start that game and not finish it. And I know for a fact I will not get that done this week, no matter how much I stream. Completely played offline, which makes it a good game. It's true, that's a rare game indeed. And also, yeah, I'll be stuck in college for like another year and a half, so school is nowhere near close to being done for me. Also, sorry if I sound nasally. I've been sick all weekend. No worries, Ghostly. School comes first. But this stream won't be long. I project this to be about half an hour. Nothing big. We'll just watch this trailer, break it down a bit, talk a hair about potential builds for Destiny 2, or for when the expansion comes out, and then that's about it. I won't be playing any games. All right, it's 8 o'clock. Let's refresh the page. There we go. Stay. Sounds good. I love Bungie's little intros here. They're just, it's so out of place. You don't realize it, but it's like, alright. I feel like I'm taking all your bandwidth and load. The preload is going at 30 megabytes and the stream keeps loading. Yeah, that happens. If I ever have to do like a download on stream, you can definitely feel it. I mean, they're cool, don't get me wrong. I just was not expecting this. I'm like, their digital design department's going ham.
Strand flows through you as it flows through everything.
So Cyrus kind of helps us out learning this stuff.
Now is the time to lean into using Strand, not back away from it.
Oh, that's the animation for that. That's really cool. Yeah, it looks like they have a shatter dive looking thing. All right.
Embrace where the current takes you.
Okay, that's pretty cool. I was hoping, you know, they'd open up the subscreen so we could look at all the crap. All right.
Not back away from.
So, let's look at this. We'll just pause or mute it. When we discover Strand, looks like Osiris has kind of been digging in. So although we're discovering a power never before seen, Osiris is still going to be kind of our helper in this. Got some Titan looking things. Hey, Gabriel, you finally made it to a stream. So it looks like the Warlock just consumed something, leading to the fantasy that a Warlock can eat every single grenade that they own. Looks like once he hits the precision kill, it causes a Strand explosion, which, I don't know what the term is, lifts people. And I have no idea what the Warlock's doing here. With some sort of melee. It's like some Wanda crap from the MCU. You know, the Strand melee damage does a lot more, or the melee does a lot more damage than Stasis. Yeah, that's fair. I hope it does. At the very least, like, because the Warlock melee for Stasis isn't about damage, it's about instantly freezing a target, which is really nice. But they made the cooldown really low, so it's just not that viable. Alright, see ya, Ghostly. So here's the Warlock super, which has changed a bit than the first reveal. So all these little strand bits come out. It's almost like a blade barrage, if I'm going to be honest with you. And I love these little threadlings. This proves good. Actually, I'm going to switch over to this screen. Oh. Hold up. Where is it? What? Oh. There we go. Just so it's more full screen. The threadlings are really cute. They are. Oh, yeah, sorry. I forget that. Yeah, you're talking about the hunters. Yeah, well, that's because they used to, and then they nerfed them. Yeah. These threadlings look so cute. I wonder what spawns these, because we have the exotic armor piece that allows us to make threadlings. But this looks like it's coming from our abilities. I just don't know what. But I'm excited to make a ton of threadlings. Well, that's it for Warlock. Lots of threadlings. Blade barrage looking super. Melee looks like you're doing like those karate chop moves in the memes. And you can eat your grenade. So everything a Warlock ever needs. Maybe I'll need to switch over to Warlock because the melee looks. That's fair, but you hunters have a freaking rope dart, which is super cool. But here's the Titans. All right, hold up. Let's look at this. He's about to use the barricade with the wave. The exotic gives you 3, but the base gives you just 1, which is still super effective. Again, this is so much better than what? Is it the Burning Steps or Kelperi's Horn? What? I don't know the exotic name. I don't know my Titans. But it's the one that gives you like the fire wave. So at least this one I feel like has more utility because it's not meant for damage. It's meant for stunning, which is infinitely more useful in endgame activities. And yeah, poor Titans. They're still punchy punch. So that animation looks like the whole hammer drop thing that you guys got. And that was all the showcase. Essentially, yeah, you just punch. You got some sort of area slam in a wave looking thing, kind of like your Stasis and your solar hammer. So the hunters got their Stasis dive. Looks like you throw a shuriken looking thing, kind of like Stasis, except it looks like you snap your fingers. It's like you throw it upwards. But anyways, that's bouncing between all the targets if you see in the background. There's your melee. All right, see you in a little bit, Gabriel. Maybe I'll still be streaming. This one's going to be super short. So here's your rope dart. You got your single attack, which does a little area damage, but then don't forget about your whirly wind. This is very interesting. What did they mean by this? Now, it's under my assumption that when the Tormentor does that animation on you for that first time, it's going to cut off power to your light. I wonder if you can still use Stasis. If you can, that's cool. But then that'll also probably lead to us discovering Strand, us needing to find a power. Back to Red War, no light for you. Honestly, I would not be shocked if they did that. I kind of hope they do that. Because it incentivizes us to go find Strand. And not everyone has Beyond Light. So not all Guardians have Stasis in their disposal. So for many people, this is their first darkness subclass. So yeah, we're going to have to go find this power. So yeah, again, that just makes me wonder if they're going to restrict stasis as well. Because theoretically, that's darkness. Either that or Traveler dies or something happens, right? Something's going to happen at the end of the story. Also, this shot is just fantastic. I want to believe these are the Cabal dropships. And it looks like... no, those just look like fiery balls coming down to rain destruction. So this might be one of those ziggurats, the equivalent for Strand, like we saw in Beyond Light. Allow us to access the Strand subclass, which kind of sucks. I was kind of hoping that with Strand, they don't do the same format they did with Beyond Light, where you actually don't really have access to your subclass until at the end of the campaign. And the only times you can use it is during very specific parts within the campaign. And then it gives you like that boosted super energy and stuff like that for your super for you to play with. It was fun, but I'd much rather just get the unlock. Maybe give us fragments and aspects slowly, which is fine. But like give us the subclass to work with at the beginning. I don't know. I guess it's also a way for us to force us to use the subclass during times when we don't particularly want to. I don't know. We'll see how they change it up, if they do it at all. But look at the... I love that texturing. Look at that. Oh, that's so cool. Strand's definitely giving me a lot of the... What do you call it? What are they called? Splicers. It's giving me a lot of Fallen Splicer feel. Which, in a way, they're very similar. Because Strand is this whole thing about interconnection of matter, whereas... What do you call it? I just forgot the name. The Fallen Splicers are more machine-based, right? So, like, machines are interwoven, and then you can splice your way into it. Very similar. Except one is like paracausal, one's not. Hope we discover in the last week of the season, start discovering how to use it in the first mission. That'd be cool. What I think is going to happen in the last 2 weeks of this season is Rasputin's going to sacrifice himself to ward off an attack from Zevo Wrath, weakening her in a way so that her final attack is, or like her invasion of the last city isn't as strong, so we can hold them back. While it's also discovering the location of Neomuna. And I think that might be it. I could see them introducing Strand. Kind of like how the pyramid hinted at us getting more power on Europa at the end of Season of Arrivals. But yeah, that'd be really interesting. Only 3 weeks away. I'm excited. Also, this thing's cool. I think that's a hunter. I wonder if that's the same... That weird spinning thing. Man, that's only there for like a frame. I wonder if this is treated the same way as your TNT thing that you got on your solar subclass. What is it? Gunslinger's Gamble? I forget the aspect's name. Where you get enough kills and then you can yeet this huge bomb instead of a grenade. Wonder if this acts the same way. Because there's no way this is your melee. It looks too chonky. And then we already saw what your melees were earlier. And there's no way this is a grenade, because grenades are universal now. So, I can totally see this being a hunter exclusive. That's what I think this is. Which is cool. It's just this big explosion that'll just lift people. Alright, we got the Warlock Rift. So summoning a bunch of little nanites. Oh, so the Rift will spawn swarmlings. That's so cool. Oh, we're totally playing with... I want to do a Swarmling build. Like, you thought our little soul buddies are the way of the Warlock future? No, no, no. It's the Swarmlings all the way. I might even bust out the colony to get maximum swarmage. This is cool. I noticed this in the trailer, but it passed by really quickly. He yeeted one of these orbs, and then the hunter grappled to the orb. So while the hunter is also being dragged closer to the orb is still flying, which maximizes distance. That's so cool. It's just one of those utilizations of this mechanic. That's so cool to see. That was a hunter. So this is your little... So it's not a shuriken. It's a dart. Wow, that bounce is ridiculous. So yeah. Throw lots of darts. Lots of funnage. I would love to use the colony. The problem with the colony, it's the colony. It's not that great of a weapon. It is getting a buff. Attached to the arc staff throw of another hunter. If you can somehow grapple onto that tiny little staff, I would have mad respect for you. Especially with how fast that hunter yeets the staff. It's so fast. I think my favorite, though, is the Titan crash that they showed a couple months ago, where a bunch of people grappled onto the Titan as it's thunder crashing. I thought that was so funny. That's so good. Just time it. Yeah, just use your brain, forehead. I'm excited for Lightfall. Like, I think what happened was Shadowkeep was kind of an expansion where Bungie was on their own. They had some work done with the studios of Activision, but for the most part, they were on their own. So they kind of started small, tried to see what they could get. Beyond Light, they did a lot of back-end fixing. It was kind of a expansion of Evolution. So it didn't really add too much. The story wasn't the best. The introduction of a new subclass and the whole Light or subclass 3.0 version was kind of like the main focus there, which led the way into them starting to develop the Light Class 3.0 systems. But so that was kind of beyond Light. Nothing too big there. And it wasn't until Witch Queen, which came a year and a half later. So this massive gap where they're like, okay, we got a lot of our back-end stuff done. We're still working on our back-end coding because, good gosh, their games, it crashes a lot. But with Witch Queen, they could really focus on, all right, let's focus on the story. Let's focus on the campaign. Let's nail down on all these things that, Bungie's kind of known for. And they killed it. Threw it out of the park. My only wish was stuff like the Wellspring and other activities could stay more relevant. Just putting them on a weekly rotator or shoving a pinnacle drop in there doesn't really keep things relevant. And hopefully they found a solution, because I don't have any ideas as to how that could be. I was also really bummed out that the Lucent Hive weren't more prevalent in the seasons to follow. I feel like that was such a great new mechanic, a great new enemy that just wasn't implemented. They weren't used. We see them in the first season, obviously, and then they appear like once more during Season of the Plunder, and that's it. I don't think we've seen a single Lucent Hive this whole year, outside of GMs and stuff in the weekly rotators. But hopefully Lucent Hive come again during this expansion, because that would be really cool. Again, it's a great enemy that they should bring back. The Tormentors, I hope they are utilized more. I hope they act more as final bosses, as these mini bosses. I want to see them more, not only in the campaign and the story, but also outside of it, like in the seasons to come, all of that stuff. I want to see Tormentors. But if you have a non-Hive season, it's hard to throw them in. True. Maybe we get Hive with darkness subclasses. That'd be cool. That'd be pretty cool to see. But yeah. That's kind of my thoughts on all that. Tormentors, at least, I feel like you could shove this into more seasons. Because you're right. It's hard to throw Lucian Hive into seasons with no Hive. But also, it's kind of weird that we kind of shoved them into the background. Like, did we just kill off all of the Hive Guardians? But Tormentors, I feel like, could be utilized more. Especially since we've been fighting forces of the Witness this whole past year. Tormentors could fit in a lot better. The light was for Sabathu and Zivu still with the dark. I could totally see Zivu Arath using darkness subclass stuff. I don't expect him to use Strand. That I understand. But seeing more Stasis would be fun. It's true, yeah. They could have put him into strikes. They could have put him into other Hive activities. I've said this before. I don't think it's going to happen. But my hope is that one of these seasons is just that of working on core playlists. Adding more Crucible maps. Kind of fixing how all that works. Instead of it, like, they've done a lot of good changes. But if they devote a whole season to fixing the Crucible, fixing Vanguard strikes, Lucian taking Hive, that would be interesting. I don't know if that's possible, but that would be interesting. Yeah, fixing our 3-core playlist, if they spend a whole season doing that instead of giving us new season activities and whatnot, I would be totally okay with that. Given it's hard to monetize that, and I understand that that's kind of hard to justify paying money for. And it could be a loss of revenue for Bungie. But the reason why Destiny 1 worked so well with their strikes was because strikes were getting revamped. Strikes were really unique in their approaches. Don't get me wrong, some of the newer strikes here in Destiny 2 are unique and they are fun. But to revamp the old strikes, like when we introduced more Taken aspects to some strikes, that was great. Then a year later, they revamped some of them again to be more SIVA related. And I thought that was fantastic too. We loved that. It's the same strike, but mentally it just makes us want to play it more. So yeah, I hope they do that at one point, because with all this introduction stuff, there's so much potential. But I think that's it for me. Nothing much more. Also keeps them relevant. Yes, for sure. Especially with your older strikes. Especially the Nessus strikes, where you still have Cade speaking in the background. Cade's been dead for 5 years. 5 years. And we're still hearing his voice in game. It's a little weird. But anyways, that's it for the Strand trailer. I'm hyped. Hopefully you're hyped. I've got no builds for this because they didn't show anything. Not really. Probably no streams for the rest of this week. I will probably be live next Tuesday when the new the end of season activity comes out. And yeah, we'll just prepare our way for Lightfall. Thanks, Elaine, for chilling, sticking around. Thanks those of you on YouTube lurking. I'll see you next week.